Our special guest this morning, he's back. His neighbours legend, Alan Fletcher, ladies and gentlemen. Do you mind if I just put this away? Let me just put this away. Bad back. There you go, that's all. Now, unforgettable as Ramsey Street smoothie Dr. Cole Kennedy. It is always good to see Alan on these shores. But what brings you here this time, Colin?
Well, this time I'm here purely to help promote a campaign called Blue September, which is to raise awareness about men's cancers. It raises money for the Men's Health Forum, so it's a fantastic cause. And basically, I'm here to talk about looking after yourself, gentlemen, which we've got a copy on as well.
What is prostate cancer? I mean, is that... Because I'm not... I kind of hear... Is it something that affects people as they get older? I'm right about that.
It most certainly does. I mean, more commonly, it's going to affect someone as they get older. In fact, it has been said that if you lived long enough, almost every man was probably going to eventually get prostate cancer. I mean, if you lived to be 150,
I've heard that before, that you would have it, but you wouldn't necessarily die from it. You'd die from old age.
Exactly. And, of course, you can get enlargement of the prostate. It's not just prostate cancer. There's all sorts of problems that come from enlarged prostates and so forth. So being aware of that and getting it checked early is this is the key to... prevention is the key to cure.
So it's quite interesting that someone who plays a doctor should be doing a medical campaign. I can see what the PR people were thinking, but how good a doctor do you think you'd be in real life, Aaron?
Well, I've really got a fairly good handle on it. I quite commonly when... Well, I quite commonly actually help my friends out. Now, if there's anything I can do for you, Matthew...
I've just remembered I don't have a prostate. It's unbelievable. I'm a genetic freak. Oh, my word. Oh.
You can actually check your prostate online now.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you had to use your fingers.
No. You can do it online, which is a good reason to get a smaller mouse.
Let's leave that, because blokes are, by and large, more reluctant to seek help, medical or otherwise, than you girls would be. And I wonder if it's something to do with the size or shape of our bits versus yours, ladies, or maybe it's something else. Maybe boys are pressed into being macho men by their parents when they're young and consequently don't feel comfortable showing or exposing any vulnerability. I've got loads of theories. I have another theory, more to do with the shy guys reluctant to seek medical help when things go wonky down below than anything else. And that's the fact that you girls are so used to having doctors sticking cold metal things in places where the sun don't shine, because your bits are always going wrong, that you don't have a problem with it. Whereas, by and large, our bits don't start failing until we're a bit older. And by the time that happens, it's all really rather frightening. And now, when the doctors tell us to drop our pants and touch our toes, I get really nervous. At least I thought he was my doctor. It's, I'd never seen him before.
Both hands on your shoulders.
It's fascinating too, is it not, that more women than men ring cancer helplines aimed at fellas, by and large speaking on our behalf. Now, Blue September, I know how important this campaign is. My dad died of bowel cancer, and one of my suspicions is that if he had driven his complaints harder, pushed them more, he may be alive today, but he didn't want to go to the doctor and talk about bottoms. And now, you know, prostate, I imagine it's very similar.
Yeah, indeed. I'm very proud to be part of Blue September, which is supporting the Men's Health Forum, because everything's about education here. And it's not just the fact that people get shy to go to the doctor. Often they don't even know what to look for, what symptoms to look for. So, you know, they might be feeling a bit tired, a bit fatigued or something like that, and say, oh, I'm just working a bit hard, I'll be all right, just need a good kip. But in fact, these are the beginnings, the symptoms of something that could be much, much more serious. And I think that women are perhaps more inclined often to say, oh, I'll get this looked at, but a lot of blokes just soldier on.
But women, I see, women will have changing rooms where they all get changed in department stores. I can never imagine that happening in a men's store. I mean, OK, you get sportsmen that might shower afterwards, but that aside, we are all quite separate, aren't we, really? And things, by and large, don't go wrong for blokes, whereas women's gynae issues can start early teens or younger than that. Do you think that women are just more, they're just more used to it, to being investigated and checked? And...
Well, that's probably fair to say, particularly because of gynecological reasons, even childbirth and things like that. And of course, you know, for women, when they through adolescence, you know, there's a lot going on for them that their bodies are very much drawn into question, you know. And for guys, it's kind of like, I'll just ignore it and hope it goes away. But remember the case of John Hartford, the the Welsh footballer. Now,
Hudson,
sorry, he had a lump on his testicles for 4 years. And he said, you know, it worried him.
But he wouldn't do anything about it.
It's fine, let's not worry about it. Ends up lung cancer, brain. It's this natural reluctance to go to the doctor for men, and I think there's a number of reasons.
Well, go on. Go on.
Well, I think for a lot of guys, they actually sit there and say, if I go to the doctor will say to me, you've got to eat better, you've got to stop drinking or drink less, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to exercise more. You'll just be told what you already know. And they're basically saying, why would I go along there and put myself through that? I don't think they're really worried that much about the test being too intrusive, but it's ignorance is bliss.
Okay.
In a sense.
Lucy, is it even fair to say that men are shyer than women? Do you agree with that proposition to start off with?
I asked Richard last night, funnily enough, you know, if he checked his bits and bobs, and he just said, not really. And I said, well, what's your excuse if something is wrong with you about why you wouldn't go to the doctors? And he said, I haven't got enough time. It was as simple as that. I haven't got enough time.
So there is a difference.
So yes, yeah, because I would make time. I would make sure I was going. You know, that I was going and getting something checked out. And I mean, it's not particularly pleasant. I mean, as much as you know. And I don't like the thought of having to go and get that done. But yeah, there's I wouldn't delay it. I would get straight down there.
It's like when you see the breast cancer moonwalks and stuff like that, and all these women come together. The idea of a whole lot of blokes coming together to celebrate prostate cancer or getting over it, it's just never ever going to happen.
No.
I mean, there are walks. I do a Bobby Moore bowel cancer jog. Everybody gets together, and in many ways, bowel cancer is kind of hopefully moving away from being a subject people can't talk about. But Dominic, men shyer than women?
Yeah, I think it's a cultural thing. I don't know the answers. I think there is a stoicism to being male.
British thing?
Well,
maybe,
no, I think it's probably more male, more gender-based, and I don't know the answers for it. I think perhaps the hunter-gatherer, patriarch, I don't need any help. But equally,
I am strong.
I think so, yeah, and equally I think what you've said about the continued nature of female medicine, you know, is much more, leads them to sort of being more au fait with doctors, whereas men, as you say, things don't go wrong, you don't need to go to the doctors. I've never had to go to the doctor for anything down there. So, I think with women it's a more continual thing, so, but they're not the answers, they're just the problems. So.
Well, the most important thing is we have to stop this. We have to break it down, and you get a situation, men are 60% more likely to get the five major cancers than women. They're 70% more likely to die from it.
It's interesting, because the prostate thing is into your 40s, which I'm now into, and I've never bothered to go and have it checked.
But it's, you know, I am an active campaigner for bowel cancer, but I've never looked at anything else.
Have you been checked?
Bowel cancer I get checked regularly because...
Prostate cancer?
Prostate, never been checked. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure. I'll be honest, I don't even know what the symptoms are. I mean, I don't. But I'm going to find out.
Bad back?
Bad back, I think we can talk about till the cows come home, or indeed find their own way back in the case of Yvonne. Let's throw it open to you. Are men shyer than women?
OK, we have John first on line 1.
Morning, John. What are your thoughts and theories, sir?
Hello, Matthew.
Hiya.
Well, I've got a theory that really the National Health, or particularly your GP, is not that welcoming for the male. It's a very female-dominated environment. If you go in there, you sit in the waiting room, you look at the posters on the wall.
Yeah.
They're all women's problems,
yeah.
all children's problems, hardly anything for you. You sit there, you look at the magazines.
Yeah.
There's nothing there for a male to read.
No Playboy, no Mayfair.
Well, I'm not talking that way, but I'm talking about...
Oh, sorry.
You know, they're sort of like OK and Hello and all that kind of rubbish, you know. And
I think you'll find OK is a damn good publication. The other one I'm not so sure about. Go on.
It's a very valid point what John says. You know, that it is a skewed industry towards females. So, you know...
All the reception staff tend to be female as well.
Yes, indeed.
When you walk into a doctor's.
I think he has got an absolutely valid point, but the thing is, why worry about it? I mean, why do we worry about the fact we're in an environment where there's a female receptionist and there's
because
female...
I think people just don't go.
OK, I mean, what about a prostate examination, Alan? Would you want to stipulate a certain gender of the doctor?
No, it wouldn't make the slightest difference to me.
Oh, it's interesting.
I mean, I've had me bits and bobs checked by males and females.
I know with lots of gynae investigations, they do stipulate a female. I know friends of mine who said, I'd like to have a female doctor.
I think you should have the choice.
You're easy either way. I totally take John's point about just that the health service seems to be more open and appealing to women. We've got time for one more. Thanks for that, John.
OK, we have Graham on line 3.
Graham, good morning.
Morning.
unbelievable. Kirsty, you just whispered just then that you got or had prostate cancer yourself.
Yes, I have, yeah. I've still, well, theoretically, I've just been down to the surgery and had my 12-weekly implant again, which controls it. But I suppose for about this part of 3 years, I've had it, and it's now at the state where it doesn't bother me. I went for a trip to New Zealand because I have relations and friends out there, and when I came back, I felt I had an infection of the bladder because I was just going to the toilet regularly and often. So I went down to the surgery thinking, oh, yeah. And after they did the blood test and the PSA came up, not too high, but high enough, of course, they fast-tracked me then to the urologist to deal with it. But the point I really try to make with people is it wasn't until I got it, because my older brother in New Zealand had it. He didn't die from it, but you read literature which says if your father or your brother has had prostate cancer, there is every chance that you might.
But you didn't have any problems going to the doctor, whereas I can think of blokes that would just say it's going to go away.
I had an infection. but that was proved from it. But at this point, you see, in my own son, I said to him, look, you go and have a PSA taken and make sure you're okay. And
it's a blood test.
That I don't think is quoted enough to people who understand that.
OK. Graham, I wish we could talk a little bit more about it, because it is vital stuff out there. I'm being told by Screech, who's going through here, that, you know, one of the primary symptoms of prostate cancer is, or prostate problems, is the need to pee a lot, which is worth getting on, or a feeling to rush. And the PSA test we had there is I believe, a simple blood test that can give you give it some kind of guide.
Does the PSA test indicate any cancer? Is that what
no, I don't think it's just prostate.
But it's not
100%
definitive. It's better to have other. I'm sure you won't mind if I point out that education is the key, and that, you know, the Blue September website here in the UK, the .org.uk, has all the cancers, all the symptoms, how to get help. Encouraging people to support the Men's Health Forum.
And indeed, there's a link to it on our website as well. In fact, I might have a look at it. In fact, I think I should.
There you go, that's the thing, isn't it?
Now I'm middle-aged. Now, talking of middle-aged, Kevin O'Sullivan's TV review is just a few minutes away. You'll forgive me for that, Kevin. He hasn't got a grey hair in his head. But first, I've got to bid goodbye to our panel, as our last phone is just finished. And I have to say, Alan, brilliant once again.
Thank you.
And not just on this show, but also hats off to you for doing this work for Blue September.
Thank you.
It's really worthwhile, indeed. And